All right, guys, it's Wednesday, and we're going to do a review on Shang-Chi.
Yup, we went to see it last night. Well, we're recording this ahead of time. We went to see it last night, but it was freaking awesome. Best quality so far in a Marvel movie. They really outdid themselves this time. And yeah, good stuff to talk about. We got some great content. We took our little notepads and we got some notes.
I think my favorite part so far was the fight scenes. Every single movement they did, it felt authentic.
Spoiler warning, I guess. We're going to dive into it and break down the movie. Okay, so let's talk about the overall, like, the overall. How was the movie for you? How was the overall, like, rating?
I would say, out of the whole entire Marvel, cinematic universe, I feel like it's a solid, either 9 or 8.5.
Why do you say that? Like, break it down. Where are you getting that score from?
So I'm gonna choose one. I'll say 9, and I feel like my choice would be because they dive in a lot to everything, and I would say it has to be more the fact that they add in storylines to like characters like the mother. There's not a mother in the comic books, and they added into the storyline, and it just made sense. I don't know why, it just made sense to me, and everything is just fit in perfectly. Obviously, Katie did like the tremendous job of like making me laugh the whole entire movie. I know I was not the only one.
Yeah, she was a card for sure.
So they did a good job, and I love all the casting, and it's just amazing movie.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, so that's how. Okay, for me, I would rate it just about the same. 9. I felt like I was missing one thing. The pacing was amazing, better, way better than most Marvel movies, in my opinion. That's probably like pacing wise, the best movie they've come out with. Granted, I'd probably have to look back at it, but the pacing for me is what did it. Everything just flowed so nicely. Nothing felt rushed. Everything had a purpose. Like every little detail, every little meeting, it had a purpose. And it's not like he got thrown into it and this, that, and the third. So the pacing is really what sold it for me. And the backstory was great. Like you said, I like how they went into detail of the backstory, then just give you like little flashbacks and like, okay, you guys figure out the in-betweens. No, it's like, okay, this is what happened, this is how it happened, and it didn't give it away right away, like with the mother storyline, we had to like progress throughout the movie to see what actually happened, because when they first showed the backstory, she just kind of died, but then it explained like, oh, how she died, until later on, and we see, oh, she got freaking gang jumped. She got jumped
I
because of
really thought,
dad.
no offense to the dad or anything like that, I thought the dad killed her.
I honestly, I mean, essentially he did. It's his
Yeah,
wrongdoings,
it is
basically.
his fault, but like I really thought legitimate the dad actually killed her. And it's just because like I think it was my theory before like we saw everything that happened. I just thought he got power hungry again,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in a way for him being power hungry.
Nah, see, that's one thing that never crossed my mind. I didn't think he killed her. I just think it was like maybe his actions killed, and that ultimately is what happened. That's what I thought, but I never thought he would kill her because he just seemed so happy he gave up the rings. And speaking of which, okay, so let's structure this a little bit, right? Let's start at the very beginning, and I'm gonna pull out my notes for this, right? So it says in history, he's toppled multiple governments, and the rings give you eternal life. We know this to be true. But at the same time, they also said that the rings could only be used for good.
Or bad. It depends on the person. And he used it for bad he
But
used it
isn't
for
there
ill
some kind of
intention.
consequence that come to that with that? Like, I wish they would
Yeah,
have. What
I
was?
think I think the part I don't think that's a consequence. I just think for his sake, the dad's sake, it was him trying to be good all over again. And obviously he gave up the power because he finally found something that I think, yeah, he found someone that he loved. I think that was just the problem. He didn't have anybody to love for thousands of years.
I think so too, but at the same time, it's just like maybe I'm just hearing it wrong or I heard it wrong, but it says should only be used for good, and then he wanted more power, so he just conquered everything. But isn't there like a price to pay for that with the rings? I wish they explained the rings a little more. It's basically what I'm saying, because we don't know anything about them
I mean,
or how they
neither
work.
does the MCU apparently in that end
Yeah,
credit scene.
yeah, but
That was a mystery.
I wish they give a little more exposition into like how, not necessarily where they're from, because I know they're trying to figure what is and where they're from. More like a little bit of how they work, because they could be just like miracle rings for all we know, and they could be capable of anything and everything, and essentially they are. But like, I don't know. I just want to know stuff. It's probably just me being
You know,
nosy,
no, I agree with you. I do want to know everything, but knowing Marvel, we won't find out until, oh God, until 5 years after or something
or
like
unless
that.
somebody leaks it,
And I
which
think
is
that with
hard. Yeah,
Marvel.
which is hard in itself with anything Marvel. And
All
half of the
right.
time something get leaked, they end up changing it.
Oh my God, Sony literally leaking out No Way Home trailer.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're just getting a little off topic with Sony, but anyways, um, let's talk about the present day. I had
Mm-hmm.
to look this up on my phone. When was said actor, because it never told us in the movie. It
Yeah.
was 2 years after Thanos snap. Two
Okay.
years. Kind of to come to think about it, if we're gonna go along with the Marvel timeline, this is way ahead. This is going probably after No Way Home. It looks like, or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, but
That's
like
my
why would they
my
release
thinking.
it in that order? That's kind of weird to me.
It's Marvel, dude.
Yeah,
They
I
release
know they end up
everything
tying it
and
all
go back
together,
in
but like
time.
I know they'll end up tying it all together at some point, but it's just like that messes up the pacing then, because if you see like the end credit scenes, then the end credit scene just doesn't make any sense until like if that happens after Spider-Man.
Because I know after Far From Home, it was, obviously, No Way Home's going to go after that, like right next to it, because you see the trailer
Yeah.
is just, and then Multiverse of Madness is going to, we don't know when that one's going to be set, to be honest.
Okay. Real quick, I just want to appreciate the fight scenes in all the fight scenes in that movie, especially starting from the very first one with the mom and dad. I like how they use a lot of old school Asian.
You seen the movie Rava, like the Disney movie, Rava and the
No.
Last Dragon?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah. I have.
I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm sorry if I am, but
Yeah, you
like
are.
I just
You
got the
caught me off
vibe.
guard with that, Raya.
Right, sorry. The mom just gave me her vibe, like the outfit, everything like that. I was like, oh shit, that vibe.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. But like, I just want to appreciate like the old school Asian kung fu wire styled fighting. If you've seen any like old kung fu movies from like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, or anything like that, like I love the wire, like floating, seamless, like majestic styled fighting. You know, it's like very common Asian trope. I think they did very well in like bringing a lot of like Asian references and cultural references in there down to the cast. You know, majority of the cast was like Asian, which was amazing, and everybody acted beautifully.
It was perfect. I would say like out all the fight scenes we've seen in Marvel, and that's including all like the TV shows and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this one's like the best one by far.
I think so too, because literally I think they did such great work because they didn't use as many cuts in these fights, because usually in action shots like you see in Avengers, they'll like punch and then they'll cut away to another angle and this, that, and the third, and I feel like that makes the fight hard to keep track of if they're cutting different angles every 5 seconds. I like how they kind of took a panoramic view of it all. They did have cuts obviously, but like,
I mean, the cutscenes, what they did for it, it
mm-hmm.
was basically, obviously the mom using like the wind or Shang-Chi jumping away. Like that's like understanding good cutscenes, not like I go through the Marvel what they normally do.
Yeah, for sure. And the whole panorama, I just think it was such an organic performance. Like the choreography was amazing. You know, one fight scene that come to mind in particular is when the aunt and Shang-Chi was like was practicing, and then they kind of took she was kind of helping him while fighting him, if you know what I mean. You remember that scene?
Yeah,
That was flawless to me.
I think she literally said, I don't quote me for word for this, but you're fighting like your dad. Like, you can see his fist, and she moved it like, now you're going to fight like your mom. And I was like, whoa. Like, that one transition, like, you're not going to be your dad anymore. You're going to be like your mom and beat him.
Yeah, but the choreography in that movie was amazing, especially like when they were in the fight club or whatever, and they were fighting out on the outside scaffolding or whatever. That was great use of the environment.
Fight Club, by the way, can we just discuss a little bit about the Fight Club a little bit?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. You could pioneer this section. Go ahead.
Abomination.
Yeah, with Wong? What?
Wong.
Why? How?
I would never thunk in my life that like I was like, wait, and then Abomination, like,
Man,
not being himself.
To be honest with you, I didn't think it was him. I thought it was just some random alien creature, and then you kind of got closer, and you were like, "Wow, that's Abomination." And Wong was a surprise. I'm like, "What is?" I kind of figured he'd be in here, hence the all Asian cast and stuff. But like,
my thing is Abomination, man. And like, I know I saw that in the trailer, but you know how Marvel is with the trailers; they can lie to you.
Yeah, for sure.
And then him facing his sister.
Oh yeah, that was a surprise when he was like in the ring. He got served by his sister good though.
I know his sister was like out for revenge. Like, this is what happened when you leave me.
She was satisfied with that freaking kick. That was he was knocked out cold. When I saw him
drop down to the floor, I was like KO. Like, you know, whenever you're doing a video game fight and then just like that magical KO.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was that with Abomination.
I can't believe Katie though betted against him. That was hilarious. She just comes in with all this like money. Is like, did you bet against me? No, it's just wow.
You know, honestly, I might do the same with my friends though.
I bet against them on a fight.
Like, think about it. You haven't seen him fight as long. Like, if you saw your friend and you're like, oh shoot, like they can fight. Mm-hmm. And then you realize, like, they're going to face someone that's going to be better than them. I love my friends, but I'll put, like, a little small chance, like, $5, and then, like, $100.
Wow. You're going to really do your friends like that? You're going to do your friends like... And I bet you're going to be rooting for them on the low-key and be like, oh, yeah, go, go, go. And then you're like, please don't, please don't, please don't.
I'll be like Katie, like, drinking the whatever. I don't know if she was drinking. I couldn't see for like that 5 seconds. Just drinking her drink, like supporting, like, yeah,
but not really. Yeah, that was gold, man. She was definitely a great and that's the thing too with her. The comedic relief didn't feel forced. You know, that's one thing Marvel always does right. They're so witty.
I love the actress. She was in Crazy Rich Asian, and she just made it better.
Yeah, Awkwafina is literally a comedic genius. She knows how to play like her. You give her it, and she knows how to make her role work for her, and she does it well.
The fact that she said when she was doing the archery thing, she's like, I never got in something really and something. If I did and I do medium well with it, I'll do okay with it. And I gave up on it after. I was like,
I mean, that's just life. She's giving wisdom. I mean, look at society. We give up on a lot of things just because we're like, okay, it's cool for now, but you know.
But like, okay, I love how the way we were introduced to a character we haven't seen since Iron Man 3, probably. Mm-hmm. The Mandarin.
What? That was what? Yo, I love how they went back and explained everything.
Like that. Like, I have it here somewhere in my notes, playing dead.
If you guys seen the movie, you'll know what we're talking about. And what do you remember the name of the fluff ball? That thing was so cute.
I think it was Morris. His name was Morris.
Yeah.
It was a chicken/pig. I wrote it down. What's a chicken pig doing?
It was a chicken pig, yeah.
And okay, so the Mandarin, he was a jester for the dad. And the dad was a little jealous about the Mandarin. Let's be real there.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure.
Like,
I mean, what do you think he wanted to kill him for?
All right, and then he's like, you could tell he got really jealous of the fact that he said that the Americans got afraid of orange chicken. Right?
Oranges.
Yeah, orange.
Orange
It was
chicken.
orange.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down. You said
I got
oranges, not
hungry for a
orange
second.
chicken.
I got hungry for a second.
Orange chicken.
No, orange, just orange. Americans got scared of orange. Like you could tell he was a little jealous of that. Like Americans got scared of that.
Yeah, instead of his name, he was like, "Oh, I'm known as the Conqueror and all this stuff, that and the third, but you guys are scared of oranges."
Oh man, the fact that he can talk to Morse. And know the funny thing is, when Shang-Chi and Katie saw Morse, he's like, "You can see Morse too." Like you could tell that he was thinking that he was going crazy, just being trapped as a jester for the dad.
Right. Let's talk about the kid's past real quick. It's
Oh my
crazy how
god.
the dad freaking snapped after that. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's just weird because the dad doesn't realize it's also his fault. Yeah, he gave up the rings, but at the same time, he has to know
I
that
think the dad
the
knew it was his
consequences.
fault though, too.
Then why put
He
your
also
kids? He's blamed his, essentially putting all the pressure on his kids. And I feel like he felt like it was the son's fault because he wasn't strong enough.
I think he put more pressure on Shang-Chi though.
Yeah, no,
And
for
his
sure. Because he was
because
like,
Shang-Chi was the last one there. And he's like, you're there with your mother and you watch her die.
yeah, but he's a kid. Like, what do you expect him to do? And his mom kind of gave him a whole talking to about this, that, and the third. So,
Like the mom's always like, I got this, just go protect your sister. I was like, yeah,
I
protect
don't
your
get
sister.
why didn't she just go inside with him and be like, oh, come back tomorrow?
Yeah, right.
Or like,
Um,
oh, my husband will be here, then you could talk to him after that, or I don't know. Like, I felt like that could be handled in a certain way, but I know why they did it, and
yeah,
it was well done.
the dad was evil already because, obviously thousands of years just gaining power, but he found love. And then when she died, he became evil again. And then the worst thing is he took his son. Well, I'm guessing the age. I'm not gonna be right, probably like 6 or like
7. It was 7.
years old, right? Took him and killed like 4 guys right in front of him.
Yeah, that was the freaking blood. Get paid by blood
He
death.
asked his 7-year-old son, "Are you with me?" And he nodded his head. I would have done the same thing. I don't want to die with them. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, I don't think he was gonna kill him. I don't think he was gonna kill his son. That's a little too morbid. He wouldn't have killed
No,
his
but
son.
he put the fear in his son.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, at that point, you'd say, "Oh yes, yes, Dad, I'll freaking mow the lawn. I'll do this, that, and the third. Just because it's like, dang, you see what he's capable of. That man's a psychopath.
Oh my god!
But
It
it's
was
kind of sad though. Like honestly, just watching him get traumatized like that, and it really is. Now I see why he was just. Wait? Okay, so I actually wanted to see what happened when he killed his mom's killer.
I think I was really hoping they did too, because
Yeah,
he was 14 years old, but he went through it and then ran away to America, and his name is Sean.
which was
Katie just made
Shang-Chi. Big brain,
Katie.
200 IQ.
I'm just thinking about Katie the whole entire time right now.
Yes.
Just the way he's thinking of his name.
Oh no, for sure, dude. She definitely played her role amazingly and perfect comedic timing.
Oh yeah. Can we talk about their armor for a second?
Oh yeah, what's with the dragon? I've seen some of the dragon scale stuff in the comics, but that was like in some Wolverine arc.
Like they've been using dragon scales to like stop everything,
Yeah,
and then like
mm-hmm.
the mom. How does like the sister knew that the mom would be like, my kids will come back? I know it. Like, how does the mom know? Like, I would have been like, just do whatever you want.
No, I think it's just like eventually they'll have to come here for something, or they're gonna end up looking for answers or questions. You know what I mean? It's kind of like those people, like those orphans. Eventually they get a certain age and they're like, oh, I want to find out who my real parents are or who my real family is, kind of thing like that. I mean, there's a bit of curiosity in that, and on top of that, they have a reason to, because their dad's just freaking AWOL. So they knew eventually it was gonna come to that.
You know, the dragon scales resembles the gate, the dark gate. Because I was trying to find somewhere like the dragon that came out to help. Did not
Mm-hmm.
match that scale. It matches the gate.
Oh yeah, it does matches, but I honestly, the whole dragging thing, I don't really get too much because there's only one. But they didn't explain that a lot too well. They kind of left it vague up in the air because I see if they want to have a second movie, they could like do more exposition on it. But I'm just gonna take it for what it is. But can we take a set? Wait, was that they were battling Cthulhu, bro? That was freaking wild.
I'm, bro, my
Cthulhu
mind
was
was
behind that
blown.
wall,
Okay, my mind was blown out of the waters.
and
Legitimate.
I actually like the concept though of like the villain being like a soul eater or something like that, because you know it's not just like killing people; it's like literally taking theirs. I don't know. For some reason, that remind me of you. Ever seen Mortal Kombat? Your soul is mine.
Yeah,
That literally reminded me of that.
I really agree with you there. It resembles a lot of things in there, and it was just what the heck is going on.
Nah, but it was super well done. I actually like everything in that movie was great. The pacing, the villain was great because you had essentially two, the dad and the actual like freaking Cthulhu himself and his babies coming out of the ether or whatever.
Wait,
And
wait. Can we talk about the dad for a second? Like the end.
mhm.
I think the dad redemption himself though.
I don't know, I
He
felt like
gave
he
up.
didn't do anything. He basically just got his soul sucked by
No,
Cthulhu.
he saved his son. He saved Shang-Chi and
Yeah,
pushed him
but
out of the way and gave him the rings because he knew that Shang-Chi's gonna help. Like I believe, like that little moment, like the way he saw his son was about to be taken away, pushed him
mhm.
out of the way and sacrificed himself for his son to live and stop
Why didn't
this.
he use? He could have used the ring. See, for me, I this is why I make fun of scary movies because people act so erratic or weird. Why didn't he use like the rings to kind of like burst through the grip? You know how they do like the shockwave thing? Why didn't he just do a massive shockwave, which I'm sure would tear the freaking tentacles off of that dude, and he just kind of like drops and his soul doesn't get sucked? Or Shang-Chi, he just kind of stood there and watched as his dad's soul got stuck.
Because I don't think at the moment Shang-Chi just got the rings and the soul was already gone.
I
Like the
mean,
soul was
yeah.
up, but the eternal life was just like, okay, it's not gonna let the dragon suck up the soul until he gave up the rings. As soon as he gave up the rings, the soul was already gone.
I guess. But I feel like something could have been done in that instance of them just watching each other. But then again, you know, it made for a great movie. If they did that, then I guess there's no real conflict or, you know, point
But
to
you
any of it
noticed
all.
that the ring colors changed, though, right?
Yeah,
To
from blue
blue
to
to
gold or
orange.
yellow, orange,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever
Yeah,
that color was.
whatever. We're colorblind out here. I don't think the color matters too much. I don't really think the color matters too much, but I guess like the color just symbolizes like the essence of the mom, because when the mom did that thing in the beginning it turned to gold, and I guess it's just like imperial. Like if you look at like just Asian culture, gold is like imperial color, like gold and red and stuff like that. Those are like imperial colors, and blue is probably like a
She's the part
commoner
of the
color.
dragon. I think the
Yeah,
mom was part of the dragon, and then Shang-Chi uses the heart of the dragon. Like, not literally, but like, he has the heart of the dragon, and that changes the
but what
color.
does that mean? What does having the heart of the dragon mean?
I think it just means that you're going to be a good protector and defender, and,
Okay, but
obviously
that doesn't
help.
really hold any merit or anything like that. It's just, at that point, it's just symbolism. I mean, if it means
Yeah.
something. Okay, so how about the mom, though? Like, do you think the mom kind of became one with the dragon or something? Or.
I think she did.
Like, I kind of thought that for a while, but I wouldn't know how that's possible. Because I don't really know how the mystical world of the other gate works, but. It would be cool.
I don't know how that mystical world works. I know how Doctor Strange's mystical world works, but this one's like taking a different turn on mystical beings, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think when I wrote
this
down mystical beings somewhere in my notes, and like I said, ancient magic, and I put down Doctor Strange ancient magic, like question mark.
Oh no, I don't think it has anything to do with, because they're not out here casting like crazy spells or anything. I feel like they're just using like nature and like chi to like manipulate stuff. I mean, the biggest thing really was just the dragon scales for them. That's really their great form of defense, as well as like the nature
don't forget about
allies.
the animals too.
Yeah,
The
the
mythical
nature
animals.
allies. But that was
Like
pretty
that.
much it.
I
Man,
want Fluffy
the
Lion.
freaking I
want
like the
Fluffy
lines.
Lion.
Yeah, those lines are freaking cool, and I like how they make them look like traditional. You ever like go past like an Asian building and you
Yeah.
see? I like how they made them look like that. That's great. That was freaking awesome.
Other than the lion one, I'm gonna have to go with the fan favorite with the chicken pig.
Mm.
I know that's gonna be a favorite.
Oh no, for sure,
Morris.
dude. You know how many plushies they're gonna come out with that? That's gonna be a best-selling
Bro.
like freaking plushie.
Honestly, Morris playing dead though too.
That was so cute.
The dramatic intake as well made me die of laughter.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man, I have this quote. It was in the fight club. And Katie is like, I don't speak well Mandarin. And I was like, oh, don't worry, I speak ABCs.
Yo, okay, that was funny. And see, when he said I speak ABC, I thought he was gonna like have broken English or something, but nah, he was fluent. I think it would have been better if it was like he spoke a little bit like broken English, and it was kind of like weird, and he started saying weird phrases. I felt like they could have played on that a little more. You know what I mean?
They could have, but like they played
But
that
no,
perfectly.
but yeah, that was a good little witty catch. That was a good witty catch. But they should have played on that a little more, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. We have 2 end credit scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, wow. You know what I'm talking about? Coming in.
Wong coming in. It's like we have so much work to do. Let's go to the. See, it's funny. I like how they have like the meeting with the friend in the beginning and the ending, and they're explaining like, and that's the one thing I like about this movie, because it shows like, essentially they had no purpose in the beginning, and they were explaining that to their friend, and then at the end they're in the same situation but saying, okay, we have a purpose now. Yeah, so that was a great like dynamic to show.
A couple at the end holding hands and everything like that. I knew it was gonna happen, but
it's not confirmed though. It's not confirmed, so you can't really say that yet.
Is it? I mean, I wouldn't hold.
It's not confirmed. So you wouldn't hold your best friend's hand?
No, not like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. I think you're looking into it a little. I think it's not confirmed. They've been friends for so.
Are you on my side thinking that they're a couple, or you're on his side thinking maybe they're not?
Okay. If you guys seen the movie, yeah, you'll probably lean to say, oh, they're a couple, especially at the end when they're lighting the lanterns. He had her head on his shoulder and stuff like that. But you got to keep in mind, they've been friends for like forever, right? So they've probably gotten close enough to do that stuff. So, it's not like they necessarily have to be. It's not confirmed. They might be a couple later on, and obviously they're inching towards a couple stuff now, but I don't think it's 100% etched in stone. That's what I'm saying. They're getting to there.
Agrees with me.
Yeah, but like that's just wittiness. That's just like the grandma's like, oh, when is this gonna happen? Like, it's just her being nosy.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like, I do like what you're talking about earlier with the meeting with the friends and having purpose. And then the friend did not believe her until
Juan is like, hey, what's up? Let me crash this party.
It's like Yin and Wong took like the shots, like, come on, let's go. Like, man, it's a little tense.
That was great.
And we saw Carol with long hair.
I don't like Carol. I'm not. You know what, Pete? You guys are gonna hate me, but I do not like Carol. I do not want her to play Captain Marvel. She does. She's a horrible. I mean, I can't act, but I don't think that's the role for her. That ain't it. She fits the part, like maybe look wise, but whenever I see her act, I just don't get the sense of captivity. I don't get captivated to see. Oh wow, that's a character, and she doesn't have to
It's
go
not
over the top or
comic book
anything.
Captain Marvel we're used to. I know what you're talking about. I understand. I like Brie Larson. Has a lot of amazing roles in other movies, but I do
This
agree
isn't
with you
it.
with that.
This isn't it. Especially
Captain
like
Marvel, she makes Captain Marvel like no one can beat her, and that's false. There's a bunch of people that can destroy her
not just
easily.
that. It's just like how she portrays her. It's just so stale. She makes Captain Marvel such a stale character. You
No, she
know.
makes Captain Marvel seem like she's a god. Like no one can touch her.
I know, but like I'm just talking acting wise, like
Her acting, yeah.
personality wise. She makes Captain Marvel look such like a stale, just hard, stale military, which I understand. She was like a fighter and she was in the military and she has that demeanor, but like it's just too stale to me. And I'm not
All
saying she
right.
has to be cracking jokes every 5 seconds or this, that,
No,
and the
but
third, but
at least have some good moments.
yeah, it has some decent character development, like character depth, if anything.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. All right, and also Bruce being Bruce, not Professor Hulk.
Um, I don't know how I feel like they have a plan for the Hulk in the future, and they really just don't. I think Marvel don't know what they want to do with the Hulk, especially now since the She-Hulk movie's coming. They really have no idea what they want to do with the Hulk.
I don't know what they want to do either, but like
Cause
obviously his arm is still gone. Like I don't think he's gonna be like the new Winter Soldier and just get a new replacement arm.
you freaking Hulk with a vibranium, imagine.
Oh my god, that world will be gone. But
Imagine.
just the fact that he's Bruce again, I thought he was just gonna be Professor Hulk the whole entire time because he put the bronze and brains together.
Nah, I think they were just trying that out, or like trying to get like. I think it was just strictly a marketing thing, because like they're saying, oh Hulk. It would imagine how lame it would be if the entire end game there was no Hulk until like the last 5 minutes of the movie. You know what I mean? You want
There
to
was
see the
still no
whole
Hulk. It
Avengers.
was just Professor Hulk just trying to beat him.
Yeah,
Trying to
I
become
get it, but imagine if like in the last Endgame movie, like there was just Bruce the entire time, and then you got to see Hulk for 5 minutes in the movie. Like, you really think that that's gonna solidify the whole Avengers thing? Not really. So
And
I've
then they're talking about Beacon.
Beacon. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So the rings. That's why I wish I had more exposition on the rings, because we don't know what they are, what they're made of, and they kind of look like a map. I don't know if you like watch Star Wars, but in one of the movies, how they were like going into the rings, like, and it kind of looked like a weird map.
for me, it looked like the multiverse because we've seen multiverse so many times. It kind of looks just like one spreading out, and then a beacon sending a signal for what?
Yeah, it was a pretty big signal too. If that was a multiverse, and that was a fat area that was covered, sending the distress signal.
But who would be sending the distress and signal? What, the TVA? Because they're just like somewhere out in the
Okay,
multiverse.
I
Like,
think people are taking the TVA thing a little too far.
no,
Okay, we
I
don't even.
understand it's a little too far, but like, who's sending it? The only ones we do know that's from another. We're going to talk about the X-Men, or they're going to introduce this Fantastic Four that way.
I see. That's an iffy subject. I don't. Maybe. What if like the Fantastic Four? Wait, you know how the Fantastic Four got their powers, right? How they went through the thingy
Yeah,
and they were like some part of the universe. What if that's them? Okay, I can see how that worked. That's them sending the distress signal. They go explore it, and they're like, "Oh, cool, we got the Fantastic Four back," and they got their things messed up. And then isn't there a Doom movie coming out or something like that?
I
That
think
also
so.
could be part of that if it's a Fantastic Four movie, because Doom also went and he got his freaking
He got his powers too. Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'll be laughing. It'll be Deadpool sending the beacon, just like,
If
hi,
only
is
that would
Spidey
be a
there?
great gag.
I want to see Spidey.
If only that would be a freaking fantabulous gag right there, dude. But
I'm laughing so hard.
yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was the ring sending the signal. Maybe I could be wrong. Wasn't it the ring sending the distress signal, or was it
Is
picking
either
up
the
a
rings
distress signal?
or is picking up the distress signal?
Yeah, I
Because they're
can't.
saying someone's saying a beacon, like they felt the power. I was like, who's
Yeah.
when they say they felt the power, and Carol's like, yeah, we felt it. I was like,
See,
what do you mean?
my question is, how come they haven't felt like the rings have been? You know how Juan was saying the rings predate almost everything. How have they not known about them? If especially if they've had that much impact in society and like human society and existence, because you know how they said, oh, he's conquered like, you know, multiple empires and stuff with the power of the rings. He shaped, you know, history. How has nobody found out about him or the rings in itself? You know what I
Because
mean?
I think I do have a good theory for this. He kept it low key because if people found out the
Yeah,
powers,
but you know, if somebody's over here shooting rings out of, you think like, I don't know, maybe Nick Fury would know about this, or somebody.
no, just think about it. He wants to keep it low key just because if someone came after him, obviously they did when his wife, but like if someone came after him and he did not have the rings on him, they can take control. So he was
Okay,
probably keeping it low key in
how
the
oh, and that's another question though. How could anybody put on the rings? Or is it like a bonding thing?
I think anybody can put on the rings.
Then why would he ever need to take them off? Because literally, his son or whoever could have literally broken into his house, stole the rings, and then what? He's just kind of like out of luck.
I don't know, but I think once they're on the person, it's like a bonding moment until like obviously we saw in Shang-Chi, like it was just transferred to them. Like they took over power.
But like,
But
see,
I
how does
think
that work?
bonding
Do they
moments
willingly give it up, or I don't know how. I don't think you know the answers to this. I'm just asking this. Maybe the audience could say something, but like, do they willingly give up the rings, or is it like if their soul's gone and they die, the rings is just for whoever picks it up next, or could they pass on the mental? Let's say the dad didn't die, right? But he didn't want the rings anymore. He's like, son, it's time for you to get blessed by the 10 mystical rings. Does he just kind of like pass them on to his son or something, or?
I think we'll just basically take it off like it's a bracelet and here you go, son.
Okay, then anybody could wear it at that point. Literally, nobody's stopping somebody from breaking into his house in the middle of the night. Let's say his wife didn't die and he gave up the rings, and some like later in the future a master assassin breaks in, he doesn't have the rings on, they steal the ring, put it on, and they become the next 10 ring thing. Then what? He's just kind of out of luck.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like we don't know.
Yes. Yeah,
We
I
don't
want to know
know.
though. If anybody knows, please let us know or link to resources that'll help us learn more about these rings.
All right, and then the last end credit scene. Whoa. The sister taking over the dad's business.
And starting a, I don't know, I don't know what that would be in. I haven't seen anything like that in the comics or related to it. She just kind of turns it into her own little fight club. I like that, but I
I
don't
like it, and
know.
then she put all females and males together.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the same time, I was really hoping not to see Val because I would be so mad if I saw Val there.
If you saw what?
You know, like the Winter Soldier, you know, she's recruiting
Oh,
everybody.
so
I'll be
what?
so mad if
Mm-hmm.
she was there. Like I wouldn't
So
accept that.
is she gonna like start her own clan? Do you know any like Marvel clans that start up or anything like that, like a Assassin's League or something like that, or nah? Is there
I
anything kind
don't.
of like that in the Marvel universe?
I know there's obviously the 10 rings, but like I can't think of any. Like all the Marvel knowledge I have just
Like, you
disappeared.
know
But
how DC has like Ra's al Ghul and he has his like League of Assassins or whatever, right? Is there anything similar to that? And of course Marvel does have that. I just can't recall it. I know there's a bunch of them in the Wolverine comics, like especially in the Asian area, like the Asian geography thing. But I just can't recall if she's gonna start like her own like clan of assassins or something, you know?
I think she's still gonna keep the Ten Rings name because obviously it makes sense. Like she's not gonna change that. Um, I don't. I don't think there is another teams like of assassins though.
Yeah, no, I was saying since she's training everybody, maybe she might start her own clan or something instead of like. I don't think she's gonna do the Fight Club anymore. She's just gonna start her own like organization and use it for something.
She's probably. We don't know her intentions though. Like that's the thing. We spend enough
Yeah.
time with her, but she was still not over her brother leaving her until like the final moment with the dragon. She's like, okay, all right. He's like, I'm not gonna leave you, and he didn't let go of her,
I
and
mean,
she finally
yeah,
believed.
but that doesn't necessarily change anything.
Yeah, I don't. We don't know enough about the sister. We know enough about Shang-Chi.
And even still, I don't think we know enough about him. We just know.
No, obviously it's the first movie. We need at least another movie to
Uh,
understand him.
yeah, but I think they, like I said, I think they really did him justice, especially in the backstory and how everything was explained. They really that movie, everything was everything was nice and well done.
Oh my god, the karaoke scenes doesn't matter with Wong or without
That
Wong.
one, yeah.
Love the karaoke scenes.
I always
Honestly,
wanted to do some karaoke stuff like that. Although,
honestly, I'm glad they did a karaoke scene just for like my peer entertainment.
oh yeah, for sure. You ever been karaokeing, dude?
I have not been to a place like that, but my family, we have a karaoke machine, so
Oh no, I bet your neighbors love to hear that and late at night.
my neighbors don't care.
Lucky you. Your
Yeah,
neighbors
we're
ever
very
wanted to
lucky.
join you guys or?
Oh my god, yeah, I'm the one that usually have to start off the party with the karaoke machine.
Mm,
My beautiful my beautiful singing voice. I don't
mm.
have one.
I don't know, but nah, definitely the great comedic, and that's one thing Marvel always does well. Their comedic relief in all their movies is absolutely
They always have
phenomenal.
someone for that,
Mm-hmm. Always
and
phenomenal.
it's always perfect. I love Marvel. I love all their movies. I'm very excited for every single project that's coming up.
Yeah, and we have a lot coming up this year. Let's go. Like literally, like for the month of November,
They're putting 10 movies in like in a span of 3 years.
which is fantastic.
You
Fantastic.
know how long for 10 years for like 10 movies? Like they're moving up their game, and
Yeah, and
I'm
they're moving pretty fast. They have all the resources they need. Literally, now they pretty much own almost everything, with the exception of Spider-Man and his
I
universe.
know everything is Spider-Man and his villains. I'm so sad about that. But hopefully Sony doesn't do what they did earlier and just kept the contract with Marvel.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna give it up. Obviously, from a business move, if they give that up, they just lose their biggest money maker. I mean, I don't think.
Sony was lose money big time.
Yeah, unless they buy out Sony, which is I don't think is ever gonna happen. It's just gonna be a
Really? They brought out
no.
Fox.
They're never. Sony itself is tens of times bigger than Fox, so that's not
That's
even a
true.
discussion. It's Sony is established and it's been established for the past forever. They have so much going on with them. They have like PlayStation. They have everything under the sun. So essentially,
I know.
it's gonna be slim
The
for.
one thing we should be grateful that Marvel bought, well, not Marvel, Disney bought Fox is that we got the X-Men
Oh yeah, for sure. We get.
finally in our arms. And
They're gonna have to reboot it though.
the beautiful Ryan Reynolds. He's not going to get rebooted, guys. I'm going to let you know. He is staying his role and he's making Deadpool 3.
Yes, the king himself, the Chad of all Chads, the Chaddington.
He's the GOAT.
For sure, for sure. But back to the movie. Honestly, I highly recommend it. If nobody's like seen the movie yet and just stopping by to listen to the podcast or the review, this review's kind of been all over the place. But honestly, I think this movie was well done.
If you're a new Marvel fan, I would recommend watching, obviously, Endgame, Infinity War, Endgame, and then Shang-Chi because you want to understand what happened in Endgame because
Mm-hmm.
they reference it a couple of times. But
But
other
even
than that, like
still, mhm.
after Endgame reference, like obviously also Doctor Strange to understand who the heck is Wong. But like other than that, like you don't need to watch that many movies to watch Shang-Chi.
Exactly, and even still, like Shang-Chi, I think you should watch it alone by itself. It's a good movie. It's a good movie to get your toes wet into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And you could go back and catch up. This is a good, well-rounded movie. And I feel like it speaks justice to Marvel altogether because the pacing's done well. The fight scenes are done well. You're not freaking going on a roller coaster ride with 30 million cuts for one punch, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and also like he's fresh, he's a new character, there's not much to say about him in the past movies, so you could just start with him and catch up to what's going on. Because if you're like watching Endgame and you're like, okay, now I gotta watch the Thor movies to see all the stuff that happened to Thor and why he's fat and all this, you know what I mean, and what happened with his
Yeah, no, I
mom.
would say just understand Endgame. It's just watch Infinity Wars and Endgame. If you want to know all those characters, then you have to go to the timeline. But we don't know if Shang-Chi was one of the few people, the peoples that were dusted away.
I don't think he was, but I think like some people were because they like I said, they brought it up. I don't think he necessarily was, but then again, that leaves the question: where were you when the Avengers were fighting? Dun dun dun.
Here's the thing, he was in hiding. Remember,
Oh yeah, you're
he was
right.
in California, but
Yeah, he
he's on
probably
the
didn't
other
want
side.
his.
He was in the other coast.
You're right. He probably didn't want his dad finding out that he was fighting and all that stuff too, because he was under the impression that his dad didn't know where he was. So
Yeah. So like he was in hiding. So obviously it makes sense. And plus he doesn't think he was probably Avengers worthy until he got the 10 rings. And then he was the Avenger worthy.
yeah.
That made me laugh.
If you had to say one final statement about Shang-Chi, what would you say and what would you tell the audience about this movie?
The fight scenes. Honestly, I would watch it again for the fight scenes.
Okay, me, I would say exposition was well done, backstory, like everything was explained clearly, not so much in as much detail as I would like, but very clear. So you knew what was going on the entire time. Even when you didn't, it was explained later on. The fight scenes was great, minimal cuts, a lot of like old school, Chinese wire work movie stuff, which was freaking amazing, especially if you used to watch Jet Li stuff back in the day, or even like I don't know, just the hand to hand, everything was so fluid. The choreography was fluid. The acting was amazing. The humor was great. Like honestly, if you want a movie to get into the Marvel, this is the one for you. This literally is, and there's nothing attached to it. And honestly, I'm going to see that over and over and over again with as many people as I possibly can because it was just that good. And I recommend anybody else listening to this who hasn't, for some reason, and wanted to get spoiled, who hasn't, just go see it. Please do yourself a favor and go see this because this definitely opens up a whole new window into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Man, now you're making my decision, my word statement feels so horrible.
It's okay. Somebody's got to pick up the slack around here.
Wow. I see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Catch up. Till next time, guys.